Uh-oh, there we go.
Hey, we are live.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait.
we are.
So, what's up, everybody? Sober Heathen Lindsay and the Atom Head doing a later night one because we have no lives, right?
Uh-oh.
I got a damn good life.
Me too, and that's what I wanted to start off with tonight. Is I just spent the day with my boys, my 11-year-old twins.
Awesome.
Yeah, got a message last night from Gage, I think. I was busy doing something, and I came back and I had like 15 missed messages. And the first message was, "Dad, can we please come over tomorrow?" And then the other 14 were just please, 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 all the way down. And that's pretty damn cool, man.
I agree. That's awesome.
Yeah, and they've been such great young men. They're only 11, and they've been making dinner, and they've been cleaning toilets. Their mom has a severely ruptured, bulging disc, like more than one, and can barely get around the house. And my 11-year-old boys have been cleaning and cooking and doing things that it's very hard to do to get people that age to do. And they've been doing it with a smile on their face because they're goddamn good young men who are helping out their mama. I couldn't be more proud.
I'm proud.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good fucking story.
Yeah, dude. And it's, I got to, a lot of times when you go through addiction or alcoholism or whatever you want to call it, and you have a significant other, and that's the reason why things go to shit. A lot of times that relationship is pretty crappy, but I think my ex-wife and I are pretty fortunate, and we have a pretty good relationship now. I appreciate everything that she did while I was away getting myself right. She's been kicking ass and taking names, and then and now she's, since she's seen the results, there's been nothing thrown in my face. There's been nothing that I feel like is being said to my kids that is a negative way. So, I mean, Stephanie will never listen to this, but if she ever did, I just want her to know that I appreciate her.
Aw, so I love that.
Yeah. I can relate with that 100%, man. 100%.
Sounds like you had a good night too, Adam.
We did, man. So Adeline turned 8 today.
Ooh, happy birthday.
11:21 this morning. Yeah, so I have an 8-year-old now. Who looks like she's about 13 when you look at the rest of the girls on the basketball team. So yeah, we had a great day. Basketball game, went out to dinner. She wanted grouper nuggets and oysters. Not bad for an 8-year-old.
Okay. So, pretty smart.
Yeah. So that's went and had that and watched a movie and opened presents, and really, kids that age don't really need presents. You just get them a box and a balloon and they are happy. I mean, she played more with the balloon than anything.
Oh, so does Silas.
So it's the funniest thing. But yeah, great day. But very, very similar, man. In the beginning, I would say that my name was worth less than mud in my ex-wife's mouth, but now it's I wouldn't say that she likes me, but she doesn't dislike me.
Sure.
So,
that's pretty good.
Feelings mutual.
That's okay.
So
that was nice how you said it, though.
Yeah.
I like that.
So what did you do today?
What did I do today? I don't know. I chilled. I went and shopped.
Lindsay went shopping. She was supposed to be doing homework or something, but
I was supposed to do my work notes, which I did do before like 5. Oh, I've been watching Louder Milk.
I don't even know what that is.
I told you to watch it.
Yeah. Oh, what's up, Justin?
What's up, Justin? No, Louder Milk. It's the show I was telling you about on Netflix, and this guy, I can't remember the actor's name, but he is an addiction counselor.
Oh, is that the one who's a drug dealer too?
Nah.
You're telling me he's an addiction counselor and a drug dealer?
No.
And I was making the joke about, recurring business.
No. Yeah.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Maybe it
sounds like a good sitcom, though.
It sounds interesting, but no, it's really good because, and it's like a feel good show too, even though it's really funny. But he like does a group in the church, and like the pastor or whatever they call them people, he's funny and he's like always cussing. It's cool.
Okay, yeah. I don't watch TV. I know, right? Like,
So disappointed. I'm not even mad. I'm just disappointed.
I mean, I watch the Lions, then I'll watch my guilty pleasure, the WWE.
Nice.
And then Supernatural on Netflix. I've been through Supernatural probably 12 times, all the seasons. So
it's on Netflix. I've never watched all of them.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Great show on the planet.
Do that next.
I don't know what that is.
That's
I'm just so disappointed.
Yeah.
See,
it's all good, man. It's all good.
Yeah.
Your mind's not.
I told you, I'm like a freak hermit. Like I sit in my house at night and nobody's here, and I play the guitar, and then I go read and go to bed.
That's smart. That's like,
yeah, no shit, dude. That's why you can articulate things the way you do. Your mind's not warped by fucking boob tube shit.
True.
Truth. TROOF.
Would you guys like our video? By the way, would you guys like our video? What?
I just said I want to know what we're nuking.
Oh, I'm not nuking anything.
No,
I am not Kim Jong-un. Is that his
name? Okay, so we're gonna get
get
blamed of false advertising because I totally advertised this as
yeah. So
So
I said I was going to nuke some things, and then of course my friends here they talk me off the.
No.
He didn't. He's looking for trouble.
Okay, that's right. So one of my friends here talked me off. I had my finger on the button, like I had the little flapper thing up, and then I was going to push it. Now the flapper thing's back down, but I'm still fucking annoyed.
How about instead of nukes, why don't we just use like Trident missiles?
Okay, we can downgrade to DEFCON 3. I don't know if that's down or up.
We'll start a skirmish, not an end of civilization.
I'm gonna fuck you guys up. Deadass.
That's awesome. No. So what got me fired up the last couple of days, if you follow on X, push the button. Fuck, I love you, man.
Don't encourage this.
So
Ryan.
So there's just what we're blowing up are fucking gatekeeping assholes. That's what I'm blowing up, because I am so sick and tired of people coming on X and just talking mad shit about people doing things that aren't their way, therefore it's wrong, or even worse, they go with this "you're not a real alcoholic" thing, and that fucking line drives me batshit fucking crazy, because I know what they're doing. Yeah, we heard about that too. Yeah. So I mean, she doesn't know where Michigan is. She told me she doesn't know where Michigan is on the map, so I think I'm safe.
That's true. That is true. I'll figure it out. I'll Google that shit.
So this guy comes on and on my page for no reason. He's not following me. I'm not following him. And he comes on and he starts talking about, well, first, what really got me going was that after a little bit of back and forth, I said, dude, why don't you come on my podcast and we can try to hash this out live. We'll do a live. That way it's not recorded and you can't say that I mess with anything, right? And so he says, I told you I would come on your podcast when you relapse. So go relapse and then we can do a podcast.
It's fun.
I'm like, dude, who the fuck says that shit? So, but what starts the whole thing is this whole made up thing from some people. I call them gatekeepers from the AA realm, right? And it is from the AA realm because I'm sorry, that's just what it is. And I'll say it one more time just to make sure everybody knows. I have 2 big books. I am very fond of the AA program in the words that are in the book and what they say. I am not fond of the way some people, a small majority, represent that book in those words, because I feel they completely misrepresent it. And to say that you're not a real alcoholic because you didn't work the steps and now you're X amount of time in recovery, you are not a real alcoholic because you did it differently. That is what an insult to the
It
people
doesn't
that
even
have
make
put in some
sense.
fucking hard work. You know what I mean? And so the one line that they point to in the big book is to test yourself to see if you're a real alcoholic, go in the nearest bar room and try controlled drinking. And if you can't do it, then you're a real alcoholic. Okay. So, and there's a few other mentions of real alcoholic. If the man be a real alcoholic, then et cetera, et cetera. So, but what's wrong with that is, first of all, and the only requirement to be a member is a desire to stop drinking. So you don't have to carry that. You don't introduce yourself in AA as, hi, I'm Scott. I'm a real alcoholic. You're just a fucking alcoholic, right? So that's step one, and that's the only requirement. So to start putting in all these other guidelines, and then it's like, well, when you get some more time under your belt, then you can be a guru, or then you can talk like, well, how much time? And nobody has an answer for that.
What the fuck is a guru?
Well, it's
nothing.
saying that I'm somebody that somebody that knows a lot, and I got recovery figured out. Well, guess what? I don't have fucking recovery figured out, and I've never said I have. I got a pretty good control on it right now for myself, and I've never got on here to tell other people how to do their recovery, because that's not what it's all about. And besides, that's ego out the asshole when you start getting in here thinking you know these people that you've never met in your entire life. You don't know what their first name is, and you're going to tell them that you know the best way for them to get to recover. Okay, the best studies show AA has a 5 to 10% success rate, and those are the best ones. That's the best they can do. But you won't hear anybody agree with that or look into it, because they're sitting here thinking, well, it's been the same 7 men smoking cigarettes and drinking coffee at this meeting for the last 15 years, so it's 100%. But you don't think about the people that came in one time and never came back because they didn't want to be told to sit there and shut up. They didn't want to be told that they can't talk. Like this person said that I would not be allowed to talk in their meeting. Okay, this guy that I'm talking about. You wouldn't be able to talk at my meeting. Oh, okay. Yeah. Because the most important person is a newcomer, right? Until it's not. The most important people in those meetings are the people that are saying these things. And they're important to themselves and each other, because they've created an addiction to a substance, to addiction to coming in and regurgitating these one-liners, regurgitating the same bullshit over and over again, and being able to group together and say, yeah, can you believe that? Oh, that they're definitely drinking again. That's what they're addicted to now. And to say anything different, well, I'm not going to make that firm of a statement because I don't know. But that is my belief, that that's what they're doing. And it's the same every single time somebody comes on my thread. It's the same song and dance every fucking time. You need more time. How much? No response. You're not a real alcoholic if you're not going to AA then. Okay. But I thought all I had to do is want to stop drinking in order to be an alcoholic. It's a self-diagnosed thing, yet other people are going to try to tell you and diagnose or undiagnose you. It's absolutely ridiculous. And there have been a small group of people that are like, why are you engaging? Why are you giving this guy a platform? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Whether this douchebag is on here instigating to try to gain traction and a following or not, there are people that really believe this stuff, because I've met them in real life and I've heard them say these things out of their mouth, and they turn me off of AA big time. That's the reason why I don't go to meetings anymore, because I don't want to see these people talking with their nose in the air. I don't want to hear these people regurgitating the one-liners that really haven't dove into the material themselves.
Yeah.
So, sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm agreeing. Great.
I'm not going to let the bullies come in here and scare somebody off. Okay, when they read, when this douchebag comes on and says that, what was that? I'll find this other one real quick.
The med part?
Yeah, about the med.
I could go on. I could get lit with this.
Members with 15 years. Here, I'll find it real quick. But he was saying something about people on medication. It's their number one cause to go to get medication from a psychiatrist is the number one cause of relapse. It's just, I'm not watching me not be able to find it, but if you guys got any comments, go ahead. I
got a lot. It's so I support what you're saying. You know that. And you know that I and I'm just so sick of it too, and to where I'm just like exhausted from those types of people that I can't even like I'm just like whatever, fuck off. But they also don't go on my page. So if they did, I'd probably have a big fucking problem. You know what I mean? Like I would be I like to argue.
Yeah.
So that's one of my things. But I've been doing better. Anyways, so sorry, I'm tallywagging around here. Tilly-tallying, dicking around. Um, so my problem is anybody like that, especially attacking what they would consider he would consider you a newcomer. He would consider all of us newcomers if the people that have 30, 40 years, they think everybody's less than them anyways, with less
Well, the
time.
the people that are like that they don't have to have 30 or 40 years. They might have 1 or 2 years, but when they're
Right.
bought into that way of thinking, anybody with less time than them is a newcomer.
Well, so what happened to one day at a time, and what happened to the significance of 3 months of recovery? Because that's one thing that he threw out. You just got out of treatment 3 months ago, and now you're doing a podcast and saying other things. Bro, I've been out of treatment for over a year, like a year and a half, closer to 3 times, or
It doesn't
and
even
then
matter.
he's like, well, you got 6 months of recovery. I'm like, nah, it's closer to 3 times that, and so again, 3 months is a big fucking deal. One day is a big fucking deal, and it should be celebrated. But to make it sound derogatory, no wonder people don't want to come into meetings and say I have 8 days,
They tell them to
because
shut up.
because they're getting spit on for you only have 30 days, you only have 60 days, you only have 4 months. Only my asshole, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, to get to that first 4 months, is such an accomplishment. It is such a feat.
And I hate how they freaking think that the new people are supposed to shut up because they don't have anything to share yet and they need to listen. That's what they'll tell you. And take the cotton out of your ears and stick them in your mouth. Like it's just so disgusting and I'm so sick of it. It's like, dude, I've been in and out of these rooms for a while now. I'm not in and out, but like, hearing that shit, the same shit over and over again, and the people declare it like it's their original thoughts. And it's like, it's just so gross to be like, I thought we were supposed to accept everybody. Like I thought like part of my spiritual program and my spiritual condition is to, and love and tolerance is our code. Like love is like the ultimate top value up here, right? I mean, I believe that. And so, it's just like I don't harass anybody that goes and does what that person does. It makes me upset when they're coming at me, but I don't go at anybody like that, right? So it's like it's so egotistical to believe that you should be attacking someone, and if you have that much time sober, you should know that. But they're spiritually sick, and that's it. It just they are, and like
Well,
more than
so,
that.
so there you go. You hit it perfectly. Egotistical, and what it is. If we go to the root of that,
Mhm.
I think for those people, if we follow that train of thought that they have and try to find that underlying belief that allows them to act that way, we're going to find something that states something that happened in the past that makes them go, well, this is the rule book, and the rule book says this. Therefore, this is the only way.
Yeah.
Now, I am not a psychologist, I'm not a psychoanalyst, but that underlying belief has put them in that position, and that's how they believe everything happens. And it worked for them. Following the rule book worked for them. So therefore, it reinforced that thought pattern and that belief. And now it's a personal attack to them. They perceive it as a personal attack that you have not followed the rule book.
Yes. Because they
So
identify with their beliefs so heavily.
absolutely.
Like it's their identity. And that's it's
So
just crazy.
maybe the comment that I read you guys before we started was had a little truth to it, because so I found this comment after 15 years, sober members started prescribed psychiatric medication is the number one cause of sober members relapsing. Anybody with long-term sobriety will tell you this. So when I started going to AA and doing all the things that I tried to do to get out of this a fifth plus a day drinking habit that I had got into, there was a lot more going on inside of me than just needing to sit around a table with a bunch of people and half-ass share my shit. I needed to dig deep and get to the root cause of these things, right? So I had therapist after therapist. I tried medication after medication, and nothing worked. And it just kept getting worse and getting worse. Finally, just not even a month ago, maybe around a month ago now, I finally found a psychiatrist that prescribed me a medicine that I've never been on, and my anxiety is all but gone, and my depression is lifting. Like, I go to bed, I sleep. Yeah, in the past couple weeks, 2-3 weeks, however long it's been, I wake up, and even after just like the one night I stayed up watching a movie till 3:00 in the morning, I woke up 7:30 and felt fine. That I don't remember that happening. I mean,
I can't do that.
Yeah, so. But it's like there's this new energy and like appreciation, like I like life again, and sure, eventually it's gonna probably wear off. But if I would have listened to a fuck stick like this, pardon my French, but if I would have listened to somebody like that and said, no, I better not go get on any medication because it's going to cause me to relapse. Nope, absolutely. I better not go talk to somebody outside the rooms because this is the answer.
Absolutely.
How many people are continuing to relapse over and over again because they are listening to this? Yeah. Because they are putting their trust in this. You know what I mean? And
I have never, he said that most long timers would agree with him that psychiatric medications cause relapse.
Yep.
You got to remember though, he's looking at it from his perspective.
Right. That's what I'm about to talk shit about.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because literally, like, oh, damn it, now I got sidetracked, man. But him doing that, and saying that, I've never heard that from anyone ever in the rooms, like ever. That's fucking outrageous. And so it's like, I know something's wrong if someone's saying that. Like, that's horrible advice.
So let's look at it. We've talked about this multiple times, and it's one of my core beliefs about that need that we're trying to fill. And we've talked about it with recognizing the soul of the other person, and that connection is going to kind of alleviate that depression or that whatever we're running away from. For some people, I would say, just from what I have studied and read, most people that identify with having an alcohol problem, that is going to be a psychological need or depression. Okay. And by psychological, I mean a thought pattern process, a belief pattern process. Some people have an actual chemical imbalance. There's not enough norepinephrine. There's not enough serotonin. Sorry, we're not talking about adrenaline here. There's not enough serotonin balanced in the brain. The brain doesn't produce enough, or it doesn't have enough receptor sites, or it has too much reuptake sites. So there's literally not enough of the happy juice in the brain. Yeah. And going and getting a medication that balances that out, and all of a sudden you are well again. Papa damn. It's like, just like what you're talking about, Scott, is like, hey, dude, this is amazing. I feel great.
Yeah.
And it's not I feel great, like, I'm fucked up, I feel great. It's like, no, life has meaning, and it's like, man, let's do some stuff.
Yeah.
I am good to go. And denying somebody from finding that because you have this ill-conceived belief that a spiritual awakening is going to happen by following these steps, and that's the cure to everything, is, I mean, I agree with everything you're saying.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Like Adam said, that could absolutely work for some people because clearly it has. But you know who it didn't work for? Do you know who just going to these meetings and just doing the meetings that it wasn't enough, that they had to go and do other meds? In fact, doing meds that are now illegal. No, I talked about it before. Frickin' Bill W.
Everybody's favorite Bill.
Bill W. had to go and use medical doctors to give him LSD because, surprise, surprise, the groups didn't take away his anxiety and depression.
Yeah.
He needed psychedelics to go and to help him get through it, and he fucking loved it. Go look into it.
And he was and we talked about the history of that spiritual awakening that he had, how it was fueled by a hallucinogen, and that's what he was chasing. He was constantly chasing that spiritual awakening that he had. And I'm not here to tell you that he did not have any type of spiritual awakening, but I am here to say that it was definitely pharmacologically assisted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And that's what he was chasing and always going back after, and was never able to actually find it. Now, I think he did a lot of good in staying sober on his own, but his chase, like staying sober, was not his ultimate be all. He was searching for that spiritual awakening again.
Yes.
And so.
And because he was trying to cure the only disease that the Big Book talks about, that's a spiritual malady, that's a spiritual disease. That is the only disease reference in the Big Book. That's what he was trying to cure.
Absolutely agree.
I want to say one thing, that all the arguments those are good arguments, but I want to back it up to say that we shouldn't, there should be no talking about medications, period, from someone, especially a long timer. I am a firm believer that, like, I'm not a doctor, so I don't talk about fucking meds. And it's not my business anyways. Even if I was a doctor, it's not my place. Like,
I've been in meetings for the medical community. And that's like a not a tradition or a rule, but that's like an unwritten rule that they have, is there's absolutely no diagnosis of each other.
I don't know. No, it's very dangerous. That is actually dangerous, right? Because, like, medications, we've seen what can happen. And so whether or not these medications work, I don't care. I take medications and I don't care what anybody says about it. Like, they don't know. I don't care, right? And I'm going to keep doing what I do. I'm going to keep taking my meds. I'm going to keep staying sober, helping other people, and doing what I got to do. And it's just so crazy, because I think about it in like this like one little closed off section of people that say that this is the right way. It's an outside issue, and to say like, oh, this and this, and that is one belief system. It's one belief system. And so what these people are doing is treating it as if it's the only truth. And so everything is going to be branched off of that. And that's not real. Like, that is so close-minded to believe that this one little way, I don't say little, but one specific way. I mean, come on, man. Like, it's just crazy. Like, I don't know, like, why, like, it just sucks because they represent they don't purposefully represent the community, right? But they're the loudest voices, it seems, and that's what's a shame.
Yeah.
Because then they get scared. Like, if I was a new person, someone said that to me, I'd be scared.
Absolutely.
I'd say, I don't want to be in this meeting with someone yelling or saying that I'm doing something wrong. Like, they just have the courage to get into the meeting room. Like, calm down. Like, leave people alone. Like, you can help them without saying what.
Absolutely.
It's like, also, like, we need to, like, understand what the difference is between a fact and an opinion.
Yeah.
Nobody knows.
What did did you and I talk about for like an hour yesterday? Words have meaning, right?
Yeah.
Apparently they don't. I
Words
just
are
don't
important.
understand.
Words are
Yeah,
important. Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, well, I think that is, if we're done firing missiles, I don't know. You guys want to
No,
keep
I'm
burning
good.
shit down?
I'm good. Go ahead and what
Well, I
you
was
got?
going to say that's a great segue right there into stuff, Lindsay, that you and I were going back and forth with today with talking about how we talk to ourselves
Yeah.
and how that can be either set you on the path of success, cannot talk, to success, or keep you, as Dallas keeps saying, if you guys seen his stuff about rebuffering or buffering in your recovery, which I think is a really cool concept. But so
I didn't see what was he talking about? Rebuffering? What is it?
yeah, so I mean, he put up a pretty cool graphic. It was about thoughts and beliefs basically, but I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Basically, it's like I have a thought to drink, or how did he put it? Maybe it was a relapse.
I'll go look at it.
Yeah, I'll have to find it back. But basically, it got down to the point where everything's kind of the same, but how you thought about the situation was, one was, well, I'm going to stay status quo and probably re-experience this again, and the other one was, I'm going to learn from this experience and incorporate that into my thinking and try to change and move forward from there.
True.
I think Dakota needs to come on here and debate us or something. I don't know.
We don't disagree with him though.
I know, but I feel like I'm getting stabbed at. Huh?
No, he's not stabbing at us. It's not directed towards us. I don't think it is.
Oh, okay. All right, Dakota. I'm going to give you a pass.
Yeah, I mean, okay, so
TJ, what TJ just said. Sorry.
Yeah, just getting sober isn't enough if you don't get to the root cause of why you became an addict.
Absolutely. 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 I mean,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, CBT, going down that path to find that underlying belief as to why you continue to pick up the bottle, even though you've done everything in your power. Find that underlying belief and taking it out of play changes your world. Changes your world.
Thanks,
Yep.
Cindy. Yep. I like what Cindy also said about the medication thing. Yeah, see. I know how he talks. I'd be reading his stuff all the time.
Yeah, so you're talking about like our thoughts, your thoughts and your words and the things that you say to yourself. Like they are important. One discussion, and Justin will remember this, that we had in Harvard Hall was, what comes first, thoughts or feelings? And it's like, imagine if you could make every decision based solely on thought with no emotion, and how differently your life would be. So we got to learn how to keep our emotions in check. You know what I mean? And that's going to change. That's going to change your self-talk, because yeah, I have a shitty day. My self-talk's going to be crap because my emotions are in control. Right.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Absolutely.
Oh wait, my bad. Yeah, I mean, I've been doing a deep dive into all that. I'm still learning and discovering with the emotions thing, because it's like I will go into fight or flight and I can't. It's like this is my emotional mind takes over and I get stuck, but I'm trying to learn how to not, like I'm on the edge right here, especially when I'm sick or not feeling good. And then so a thought, you feel it in your body, like no matter what.
Yeah.
So it's cray.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Dakota, we talked about that the other day. It's like we don't react to things, we react to our perception of things. So if we already thinking that somebody is saying shit, because we just got done talking with somebody that I referenced earlier today, I'm already gonna be on the defensive, and so I'm perceiving, my mind is already on that route. I'm gonna perceive that, well, but
So we talked yesterday briefly about fundamental attribution error, which is that not cognitive distortion, but a logic error in that things that you see other people do or their behaviors that you don't like, you fundamentally attribute to their character as a defect of their character. Whereas on us, we give ourselves a pass when we do the exact same thing and account it up to our situation, our environment.
Yeah.
Right. So that piggybacks to me nicely with this concept of who you are on the inside, your thoughts, your beliefs, what you project into the world is what the world is going to show you back, the mirror principle. So if I am projecting love and kindness and acceptance, I'm going to see that a lot more in the world.
Yeah.
Now, you can look at that from kind of a spiritual, esoteric standpoint, or you can look at it as the brain's reticular activating system, and that you have programmed your brain right there to only pick out those things.
Yeah.
It could be one and the same as far as I'm concerned, but I know it works. So when you start throwing, we talked about frequency and vibration and energy yesterday, when you start putting that out there, because that's who you're becoming on the inside, you're going to start seeing more of that and receiving more of that, which is going to refuel those thoughts and those feelings and help you to reinstill beliefs that are going to shape those thoughts and then shape those feelings and shape your behaviors. So it's like a self-fueling cycle. Once you get the pump primed, you can get it going and moving. It's a flywheel. It's just going to pick up speed and pick up momentum and keep going, and it'll carry you through the day. Yep. But if you never have it going and you can't figure out how to crank it and get it started, then your thoughts start getting projected out and your negative emotions and negative energy get thrown out there, and life's going to show you what you are on the inside. That's how I look at it. And of course, we're on social media, and it's designed to keep us engaged, to keep our attention, and everybody is an expert hiding behind a screen. So,
basically, yeah.
But I'm with you. I like to stir the pot and throw it back every now and then. So.
Yeah, and I don't think
stirring it. You weren't really stirring it.
The three of us never come out and say that we're an expert on anything. That's like the opposite. The three of us, you know what I mean? And so, sure, people are going to take it a certain way, because they don't know, they're just assuming.
Yeah.
And just to touch on what you were saying, I've talked about this before, but we got new people listening. Something that really helped me when I went back to the same treatment 30 days after I'd left it was to do the daily affirmations in the mirror.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it was morning, noon, and night. And I picked an accountability partner, somebody else that didn't want to do it, but liked to see me go in there and force myself to do it. And so you go in there in the morning and you force yourself to look at yourself in the eyes. And that's important because I know during my drinking days, all the shame and guilt that I was carrying from what I was carrying to begin with, and then from all the drinking and the hiding and the lying, I'd brush my teeth like this.
Yeah.
Not looking at you. I would shave, and I'm only looking where the razor is. I am not looking that dude in the eye. And so what we would do is we'd go in and we'd look ourselves right in the eye, and we'd say 3 nice things. And we'd say it to ourselves, or sometimes we'd make each other say it out loud. But you just, I'm a good person. I deserve to be happy, And there'd be days in the beginning where I'd cry my eyes out because I hadn't looked myself in the eyes. And said anything like that. And I swear to you, it does change things. It changed my day. And so if you do that just 3 times a day and it make a change, imagine if you were doing gratitude lists or whatever it is, saying positive things to yourself more often than that, the way that could change your perspective.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I had a similar experience in that I was kind of suggested, hey, try this. And it was funny because it was like at the rehab I was at, it was like the yoga teacher that came in every few days to do a yoga class. Well, she led the kind of alternative sobriety method, the one class out of the week. And so affirmations and positive thinking was something that she talked about. And, it doesn't really fit into the 12-step model. So, every other class is 12 steps. meetings, 12 steps, and here's 12 steps. So nobody did it, but here I am 5 years later going, well, shit, she was the one that was right.
That's cool though.
but I will tell you this, one of the best things you can do if you go that route and do the affirmations, I think is phenomenal. But if you will look throughout the day and then at the end of the day, try to remember situations that confirm those affirmations. If you go, I am joyously receiving a sober life today. And then at the end of the day, you sit down to do your journaling or, your nightly inventory, however you want to do it. And you go back, hey, where in my life today did I have an easy time with my sobriety? I just drove straight past the liquor store, didn't even have a thought about it.
Yeah.
And you go back and you reinforce that. That is how affirmations are so powerful. Because whether you want to think about it from a mystical standpoint or you want to think about it from a science standpoint, either way, you're either showing the universe what you want or you're priming your reticular activating system to program your subconscious.
Hell yeah.
I think they're one and the same, but
So
that is where the power lies.
that is where the power lies. And you know what? I didn't see my kids today for what I did yesterday or today. I saw my kids because past me over a year ago made changes and started taking little steps that got to this point to where my kids sent me a text and said,
Yeah,
Dad, can we please come over? And that's and not that long ago they wouldn't talk to me on the phone, So those positive steps. And so I really like what you say, Adam, because not only do I can sit here and say it was great. My kids sent me a text yesterday and they wanted to come hang out with me, and then we had a great time today. I can also sit back and say this all happened because of just more than that. Look at all the things that I did and give myself, it's not ego. It's just accepting the good that you've done, because we can definitely accept the bad, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So I've this whole, this whole year plus of being in recovery has been a process, and I can now thank myself past me, right? That saying that I said the other day, I really love, do something today that future you will thank you for. Well, right now, today, Scott is very thankful for year ago, Scott, 2 years ago, Scott.
True. Awesome. Well, that goes into what we were talking about earlier too. We got to celebrate the small wins, no matter how seemingly small they are, because those really are the big ones. That's our path. That is what adds up to our path, and and change behavior. And I want to not. It goes with the compliments thing, right? Not want to accept compliments. I need to be proud of myself.
Right.
I really do. I can't, if I'm not, that's humility too, is telling the truth about myself is humility, So I need to recognize when fuck it, I'm doing the right thing. And it's not egotistical.
Well, so here's something, in one of the podcasts I was listening to driving this last little road trip I was on, was talking about ego, right? And how we always talk about ego with a negative connotation.
Yeah.
We want to kill the ego so that we can live free without it controlling us. But there's a positive way to have a big ego, and there's a negative way to have a big ego.
Mm-hmm.
And the negative way to have a big ego is what we always talk about, where it's me, I, right? But you can be a very powerful person with a large ego and use that power to influence everything around you for the betterment of others. And there's quite a few historical figures, one of them being Jesus Christ. If you think about it, the man walks into a temple with bullwhips and beats the shit out of the money changers, right? That's not exactly love and compassion. That's huge ego, but making it better for everybody else.
Yeah.
Just one example.
Yeah.
So I think that having an understanding of yourself and going, hey, you know what? I did do really good. And it's okay for me to feel like I did really good.
Yeah.
And I'm doing really good.
Yeah.
And you know what? I have got some shit figured out. and I'm going to use that to help other people, and I'm going to use that to improve the lives around me. I have absolutely nothing to do with or nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But like we started out shooting the missiles, when your ego is, I know the right way and you better follow me, that's the negative side.
Right. Well, that's why that's why people like that just confirm that I'm doing the right thing here. That
Mm-hmm.
this is what our purpose is. My purpose, and I'm sure you guys feel the same, is that's why I do talk about this stuff out in the open, and why we are pretty loud about it. And we're not saying it in negatively. It's just, it is the truth. It's the reality of it, and that it is what it is. Like, it needs to be talked about, like how you just did.
I
And,
just
go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'm excited over here.
Go.
I'm just
It keeps bringing back to the science may one day figure it out. And I think we're on the cusp. I think we're getting there. I don't think it's going to be straight up 100% in a laboratory science. But I think there is
scientist.
I think there's stuff coming down the pipe.
I think there is. And I think that what I get on here, I just want somebody to have one more good day.
Yeah.
Because you never know what that's going to do. Right? It's like, I don't want them to see something stupid like those comments, about taking meds and stuff, and that be the day that's the end of their day. That's why I try to spin it. Hey, John. Also, we talked about words are important, right? So the definition of ego. I didn't know this, but it makes so much fucking sense. A person's sense of self-esteem or self-importance. So what Adam was just saying makes a lot of sense. If my ego is about self-esteem, that's good. If my ego is about my self-importance, that seems to be like that could be on the negative. So I am so important because I know this, and I know you are wrong.
Yeah.
That's bad ego.
That's not good.
But if I know that I'm a good person and I'm confident in my recovery and I'm going to talk about it and I'm not going to let somebody bully anybody, that's self-esteem. Yeah. And that's good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, it's a flywheel. Once you get that thing spinning and you keep fueling it, it's just going to get faster and faster and gain more momentum. And having great self-esteem is just fucking necessary for long-term recovery and sobriety. Yeah. I mean, if you want to get to the point where, like I said before, I consider myself recovered from my drinking problem, my drinking addiction. I'm recovered from that. And to maintain that, I have to keep my self-esteem high, because my self-esteem fuels me to go out and do the things I want to do that keep me from backsliding back to that path, or even thinking that path is out there. Because right now in this timeline, the way I like to think about it, that's not even an option.
Right.
But it's going to be really easy for me to not do the things that I do throughout the day for a ripple to open up, and I can take that one, which is going to affect everybody else's reality. But.
And it develops little by little, right? So it accumulates. And so, if you're watching this and you're like, how do I do that? It's by doing hard things and progress, like I talked about earlier on my show, like just the progress every day that we're doing, staying sober, and you prove to yourself that you can do it, you can hang on. And then you start to get a little confidence, and you're like, damn, I'm feeling good. What is this feeling that I have? It's like, damn. And I trust myself more.
Right. Yeah. And it's not a pink cloud that's going to disappear.
No,
right?
Not at all.
If you're on a pink cloud that disappears, that means you are, in my opinion, you're on your way to being the dry drunk thing. Yeah. I mean, the pink cloud to me is, you know what? I actually enjoy my life.
Yeah.
I'm not just not drinking and sober and attending meetings. To me, that's one thing I never understood was, you're going to feel the pink cloud for a little while, and then eventually goes away. You got to watch out for that, because when that pink cloud goes away, life gets hard. And I was like,
I stayed in my pink cloud. I don't give a shit what anybody says. I made that shit my recovery.
Right. That's right.
I don't remember what word you used. It wasn't progress, Lindsay, but it really made me think of something. but it meant progress in a way, like you build upon things, right? Like,
Yeah.
so the farther you go, the more you build. So, I went to treatment.
Accumulating.
I can't think of the word, but it made me think of this. I went to treatment for 60 days for the first time because I wanted to get better. And then I got out and immediately fell flat on my face. And I went back a month later, right? So then I was in treatment for like 100 and some odd days, 180 some odd days. And I went home for the weekend on a pass and got drunk, shit-faced drunk. Woke up, felt like shit, had to deal with the consequences of that as far as being in sober living and all these things. And I dusted myself off because I didn't want that feeling anymore. I wanted what I had the days before I drove home. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I had built up all this stuff. So yeah, I might have had a relapse at that point. I might have had a slip, but everything that I had built up to that wasn't lost. And that's another point that I always like to keep, people on the people's forefront of their thinking when they do have a slip or relapse, whatever you want to call it. It happened, but I didn't fall off the cliff again. It was a 1-day thing, and then I was right back to it again. Yeah. And that wouldn't have happened had I not built up. I wish I could remember the word that you said, but it really resonated
Increments.
with me. Yeah, maybe increments. Maybe that was it. Because it happens in increments. Maybe that was it.
I don't remember. Yeah. But that's so true. Yeah, you don't lose the experience and what you gained and what you learned. That's silly. It's absolutely silly. And that's another negative to counting the days and putting so much emphasis on that we've talked about. And it's like, let's just fucking support each other. Like, why is it so hard?
Yeah. Well, look how many people we got in the chat right now. Nobody's in here bitching. Nobody's saying, starting a fight. Everybody is so positive. Adam, TJ, Dakota, Cindy, I think it was that was in here. Justin. Everybody's in here. There are more of us, and I'm saying everybody that's listening and that's commented, than there are of the negative people. And
Hell
so I can appreciate when I'm told sometimes that maybe I just need to let those people go because they are the minority. But like we said earlier, they are fucking loud.
Yeah.
And so, but
it's just fun to argue sometimes.
It really is. Especially when they're coming at you with like they know something and they don't have a fucking clue, right? Yeah. Like talking to somebody with over a year of recovery and you tell them they have 3 months, or you don't know what. Never mind. I was going positive. I ain't going back down the negative. But
no, but it's true, and I always feel really bad when I argue with people afterwards, and I have to delete it because I'm like, oh man, it's like a hangover.
Yeah.
It really is like an emotional hangover. I don't like how I feel.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, okay. So this isn't me. I have an honest question here for Justin. He says, but I'll show others how to find their cloud. How does one do that? How do you show somebody else how to find their cloud? Because I'm under the belief that I can show them how I got it. Got mine. And I can share my experiences to get on board and fly.
I know how to answer that, but I'm not gonna. That's not for me to. I'm coming from a different point of view. Meow. Is that a kitty? Yeah. Some people deserve a good wake up call. True. Yeah. I can't help it. I just do. I just feel like that. Oh, Jesus, Mary Joseph. That was a good one.
I know, Justin. I wasn't like, I wasn't saying anything bad, but I'm curious to know what that meant. You know what I mean? And I think knowing you the way I do, I think I knew what you really meant. But yeah, I've heard that before, and it's like, can we really lead them to their own peak cloud? Like, can we tell them how to get there? No, and I don't think that you think that way. That's not who you are. I just wanted to bring that out because it kind of connects with what I was talking about before.
Coming from what I've learned in like counseling and stuff, I'll never give advice. I mean, we're not supposed to give advice. No. It's kind of like, I'm not really supposed to talk about myself. I can't use that as therapy. But it's more like, I'll help you find your own way, and kind of like how he said it though. I'll help you find
Yeah.
your cloud, but like it's not going to be from me.
Right.
It's going to be you're driving this bus.
You're right.
I'm
I'm
just in
just
the
walking with
passenger
you.
seat. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just
Yeah.
walking with you. Yep. Yep. And it's amazing that when you go and get certifications, you can learn those types of things that you don't learn in other places.
Yeah.
That was one of the most important things that they taught us in recovery coaching was everybody knows how to do it
Yeah.
or what they need to do.
Usually,
They just sometimes need help walking that road or getting to that point, right? So if I can print out some job postings and hand you a stack of job postings because whatever reason you haven't done that, and I can give it to you, maybe that's enough. That's me not doing anything for you. That's just me helping you, right?
Yep.
yeah. And sometimes like a lot of clients I have, and this was how I was too, the self-esteem and confidence isn't there, and the decision making, the autonomy is not there yet, right?
Yeah.
Like that was me for a long time. So I think that it's important. This goes with everything we've been talking about too, like not telling someone that they're doing something right or wrong. I mean, just like basic human communication that's silly as fuck. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My battery's dying, but shit says it's about to die unless I plug it in.
Yeah.
I
I
what I
wonder, yeah, like some of the people that I was talking about earlier, I wonder, and this is just me thinking out loud here, but I wonder if we could eliminate alcoholism, if they would be actually happy about it.
I don't think so.
I
I've
don't think
had
so
this
either.
thought.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, it gives. I think those people are still struggling to find their identity,
Right.
Mm,
and it gave them something to latch onto. It's like, hey, I've got
Yes.
this problem. Those people have this problem. Fuck
Dude.
yes, I have a community.
yeah.
Dude. And
I mean that
yes.
victimhood community mentality, and it's not everybody in AA. It's the people
No.
we're talking about this morning
No.
earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like a oh, my people.
Yes.
And latched on.
And guess what? And I think there might be a bunch more people, I don't want to be referenced as an alcoholic for the rest of my life. I would like to be Scott.
Yeah,
I would like to
exactly.
be Scott.
Well,
And
it's like what we said yesterday, talking about labels. It's like, unfortunately,
Yeah.
labels are a part of our life. But if we
Sure.
could ever get to the point where instead of saying, "Hey, I'm Adam, I'm A, or I am," and even if we're talking about our careers, our race, our families, or whatever, if we just get to the point where we're just like, "Hey, I'm
Yeah.
Adam,
Yeah.
I am."
Yep.
I hate that shit. Yeah.
I mean that's eventually. I think we'll all be back to being just I am at some point. We're
Yeah,
no longer
dude.
here, but that is the end goal to me. You can get rid of any label. Like, no, dude, I just don't drink.
Yeah. Right. Boy, I had a rough time with alcohol. I'm so glad that's over.
Yeah, exactly.
So how about that game yesterday? I just
Exactly.
That's my goal. That's then that's why I started a fire and a lot of people's crotches, because I said that I'm not calling myself an alcoholic anymore, and it's like, how dare you? I mean,
yeah,
for real?
exactly.
Why are they worried about what you do?
It's like and it gets used all the time. Oh, but it's a disease like cancer. Well, you don't see people with cancer going like they're 10 years in remission going, hey, I'm Adam, I have prostate cancer.
Or I am cancer.
Yeah.
I have cancer.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, dude, I had prostate cancer. They knocked that shit out. So.
Yeah, you don't get your cancer cured and then continue to go back to get the injections or the treatments. You know what I mean? You get checkups, and the checkups would be in my recovery. My checkups would be therapist or close people and talking about my feelings. Those would be my checkups. Maintenance, not
Yeah, true that. Yeah, I think it's important to just the sober community, find your tribe, whatever whatever they say. They say find your tribe. Sober community. If I'm not gonna go hide out anywhere in the rooms,
Hell yeah.
and let fear rule my life. Not saying that other people do that. I'm just saying that that was what I was using it for, and I'm not gonna do that. And I'm gonna not feel guilty about what I do because I was taught to in a not nice way and made to feel like I am going to fall on my ass and relapse and I'm stupid. And they deserted me even as my friend, that I thought was my real friends. And that's not cool, but I don't want to second guess myself. Like that's what I did for so long. And so that really kind of hurt me and fucked me up when people were doing that to me. Like you can't trust your own thoughts, your own judgments.
Right.
I don't like that.
Yeah. I mean, and to be fair, in very early sobriety, you shouldn't. But once you are to a point where you're stable and you are sober, you might be struggling to stay sober, but you are sober, then yeah, you've got to start building that self-esteem, and you've got to start trusting yourself, even if it's a little bit at a time. And let it build and let that flywheel just slowly start spinning.
Exactly.
But if you're always reliant on something else outside of yourself, you're never going to find long-term, enjoyable, lasting, recovered self.
Yeah.
You may be sober, but it's not going to be the best version of you that you could be. Now, I could be looking at it from the wrong perspective here, in that I assume everybody wants to be the best person they can be and the best version of themselves. Like we talked about earlier yesterday, yesterday, man, it's getting late. We talked about rock bottom. Some people will get halfway out of the pit and go, you know what? It's fucking amazing here. I'm not down there in the bottom. I got enough sunlight coming in from right here. I'm not worried about getting to the top.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay right here and just coast. If that's cool, if that's you, that's cool. That's not me. That's not what I talk about.
Exactly.
And I don't think you guys do either. So.
No, man. I just want to make like a positive impact. I know we all want to do that and just be there to, I really also don't. You said something about like at first we don't trust ourselves, and that's true. But I am like weary of like putting all our trust into someone that we don't even know when we don't know what the program is supposed to be. And that's kind of scary, right? And that's kind of why I feel like there are people that are willing to step in, like what Scott was saying tonight, and just say, hey, this is like bullying the newcomer. What about the newcomer? Because I mean, if you don't do that, what's gonna happen?
Yeah. And well, one of you guys said something about I think send a threat or something. Like, think about all the people that you're harming by scaring them out of AA. And I said, think about all the people that have been harmed who tried AA once and were immediately scared away. I'm sure that number is much, much higher.
And they think it didn't work for them, so they're not going to try again or whatever.
Yeah. The chemo didn't work, so it must be my fault.
Right. Wouldn't that be crazy to think that way?
Can you imagine walking into a doctor's office? Like, oh, well, you know what? You're just shit out of luck, man. Chemo didn't work on you.
Yeah, you didn't sit there right.
What
the fuck? No, I think
you're one of those unfortunate few.
I think you guys said some really good things, and it was, talking about turning the dial. There's a million ways that you can talk about this. Like, you have to turn your own dial, for one. Nobody else can turn it for you. You can't measure your dial turning to somebody else's, because, it took me 2 years to get my kids back in my life, and it might take somebody else 6. Somebody else might have went in and got them right back in their lives to be with. You can't gauge your dials. Your dials are going to spin on your own. And then when it comes to talking with somebody, like Lindsay said, to go in and talk to somebody that has no professional, and again, professionals suck. I've been through a million therapists.
Yeah.
And, I had one take me grocery shopping into the post office, right? While she's talking to me. How ridiculous is that? So they're not professionals. Professionals aren't perfect either. But if you're being honest with yourself, and you say, this person isn't working out because of this, and you can honestly say that, then go find somebody else. But if
Yeah.
you're saying this just isn't working because I don't want to do it, only you can know that. So if you're capable, and this, I'm gonna quote the big book, make sure you're sitting down. If you have the capability of being honest with yourself, then
Mhm.
progress can be made. Right? And I think that's
Absolutely.
true.
I want to say one more thing too. What Justin just said, I think the haters just don't have the open part of our program. It goes in many different ways. I know that is I believe that's the how it should be perceived, right? And I believe that's the correct take on it. But the issue is that that's not how many of them believe. A lot of them, and the group I was in, primary purpose group, we believe that you're wrong if you say that it can go many ways. There's one way it can go, and if you're not doing that, then blah blah blah. So that's the problem, I think, because really, who says that that's the right way? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I think the correct take is what Justin said. The problem is that that's not what I see all the time.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Coolio, bro,
Yeah, that's awesome.
bruh.
I don't know. I feel like this is one of our best ones. I mean, the things you guys are saying tonight felt like a home run every time you guys shared. So thank you for that. And
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank
No,
you. I'm
thank
glad we
you.
didn't start a war.
Thank you.
Shots fired, just warning shots. Just the poop pew pews.
Nah, no shots.
She went across the
I feel like
bow.
it wasn't.
It wasn't bad.
It was a little
And if it
friendly
was,
banter.
you think it was, that's fine. Like I said, if anybody
Yeah.
ever listened to this and completely disagreed with what I said, I'm not against having you on the podcast and have a one-on-one discussion about what's going on. I did it with XRP, and I was trying to do it with the guy that I talked about today, and I will do it every single time. Why? Because I'm willing to be wrong and to be told that I'm wrong. And that's the whole reason why I try to create these discussions.
Yeah.
I don't start these back and forth with these people just to feed my ego. I want, okay, why? Why do you think this way? Why are you saying this? You know, and that's the whole point of the Sober Heathen podcast.
Yep.
Well, that's how everything should be. Like
Mhm.
that's how communication should be. That's how that's how we learn. So it's like you're honestly saying, here, come here and change my mind. If you're right, then come explain your side, why you think you're right, and hopefully you can change my mind. If not, then
But the ability to question why and ask is exactly what got me down this path, because no one could tell me why any of the things that were being recommended were being recommended. It's like, oh, it's just the way we do it. I'm like, well, why? And so I sat down the path to figure out, okay, if these steps really work, let's find the principles underlying them and figure out what those are. And that's exactly what I set out to do. And I think I've found pretty much damn near all of them. I can correlate each one of the steps to either a psychological principle or a spiritual principle.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know,
So,
right. You know, because of my lack of beliefs in a religion, I've been asked several times, like, why can't you just believe? That is just not how I'm built. I can't just believe in something. I need to ask why. And are there some things that I take on quote unquote faith? Sure there are, but there's reasonable evidence that I perceive to take that leap of faith on some things, right? So
but why does it even matter to anybody else what you do anyways? You know, it's fucked up.
because we're human.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I want to shut that shit down, man. Stop worrying about what we're doing.
That's humanity. That's our curiosity.
Well,
but telling him like what to,
yeah, I get you.
Why don't you
I get you.
believe? It's like, dude, who fucking cares?
Well, and quite honestly, I put that out there knowing that people might say those things,
Yeah.
but I do it also in hopes that there's going to be a discussion that comes from it. Because I would love, as far as religion goes, I would love to wake up tomorrow morning and believe in Jesus and think that everything is just going to be A-okay no matter what. You know, and then I'm going to wake up in some place with the dogs that I've lost, with my family members. And I'd love to do that. I just can't. And that's why I'm willing to have the conversation. The same thing with AA.
Yeah.
I've read the Bible, and I'm willing to have a discussion about it. I've read the big book, and I'm willing to have a discussion about it.
True.
So,
love you guys.
Adios.
Austin 316 says we just kicked your ass.
Dude, there was a half of a heart.
Oh yeah, if you're still listening, podcast tomorrow 9 a.m.
Oh yeah, does it work? Did we make it work?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like a high school cheerleader.
Too late.
Whatever. All right. Bye, everybody.
Doses.